So recently I made this short where Haru and Ranta's disposition in volume 19 are vastly different. Ranta's kinda happy, Haru's not so happy. And Frankie B9 left this comment, which by the way, I kinda like that name, Frankie B. But they essentially asked, how bad is it when Ranta's the happy one in the group? And I thought about doing an entire recap from volume 15 all the way to 19 for everyone who has not read the volumes and are wondering what's going on in the story, but I think I'll leave that until later on because volume 20 is actually coming out in March 26th, and yes, by the way, you can pre-order it now. And I think what I'm going to do is actually release a video recapping everything from volume 15 all the way to volume 19 right before the release of volume 20. And I feel like that's going to give me the most views and actually give me the best bang for my buck. But for today, what we will talk about is why Ranta and Haru have such different views on life in volume 19. And why this short that I posted should have a lot more views, because if you have the context to understand why this is funny, this is f***ed up and hilarious. And if it wasn't clear, spoilers for the ending of volume 18 and a good chunk of the stuff that happens to Haru and Ranta throughout volume 19. Also keep in mind that I actually do have reviews for these volumes here on YouTube. Let's get this right out of the way in case you guys haven't read the end of volume 18. Kuzuku died, got turned into an undead. Satora died, got turned into undead. Mary finally gave her entire being over to the No-Life King, and she's possibly gone. We don't really 100% know yet. In Haru's mind, she is gone, however. And Haru, going into volume 19, is a mental wreck and tries to commit suicide at one point. Yumi and Ranta are constantly watching over him to make sure he doesn't hurt himself, and he's still recovering from getting stabbed through both of his wrists by Takagashi, while the world around him is essentially falling apart because of the decision he made back in volume 11, which he accepted Jesse's offer to bring Mary back from the dead, even though he warned him that this was unnatural and something horrible could happen. Haru ultimately made that decision, and now the world is technically suffering because of him. Meanwhile, you have Ranta, who's just having a great time. He finally commits to actually trying to get Yume to date him, and he goes in for a kiss, and he just kisses him back finally. So Ranta and Yume are kind of sort of in an actual relationship by the time they get back to Alterna after like weeks of going through open terrain full of monsters and dark oozy stuff thanks to the No-Life King. It's basically implied that they're finally together because of the way they're sitting and the way they're like gesturing to each other, and they seem very cuddly now. And Haru had to watch them get cuddly and be happy with each other, and he just lost his girlfriend, which by the way, yeah, Mary and Haru by that point were actually dating, and he lost Mary completely, and he had to watch Ranta and Yume be happy for weeks while they were walking through terrain covered in dark ooze that is slowly killing the world because of him. And Ranta in this situation has to be the adult and be mature and keep Haru from like hurting himself, because Haru's mentally broken at this point. Also, for the record, Ranta is probably sad that Kuzaku is dead as well. He didn't really know Satora very much, so her dying probably was like, oh, that sucks, but it probably didn't hurt him all that much. Kuzaku, however, he did know and he did kind of care about, so that probably did hurt him. But for Haru, Kuzaku was like his younger brother, so that really hurt him. And Satora was kind of his friend as well. Their relationship is kind of weird, but it was enough to hurt Haru quite a lot. Haru lost a lot in volume 18. It's crazy. But yeah, that's why this joke should be funnier and should be laughed at more. And if you guys like this video, hit the like button, share it, tell me in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, also, I will be starting reviews for each of the volumes because people have been asking for that for a while. I just haven't gotten around to actually rereading because I have to start all the way from the beginning again and go through 20 volumes, and that's gonna take me a minute, but I'm going to start reading volume 1 this week. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!